The raucous noise of Kratic camp life fell away outside the pavilion. The silence thundered the implication. Helidin approached. The tent flaps pushed in again. The same man entered, taking a knee. "My Emperor, the sorcerer stands outside." The dogs jumped to their feet, snarling. This time, Carvis let them pull at the heavy chains lashing them to an iron stake in the ground, stretching the tightness from his neck. He stood with his mighty weapon in hand. "Bring him in, you fool," Krakus demanded. "Yes, my Emperor." The warrior pulled aside a flap and issued orders to unseen men outside. Flanked by two Kratic pikemen as big as Carvis, Halid and Misanthrope strolled into the pavilion and stopped when the pikeman motioned for him to do so. Krakus straightened to his full height, taking in the gaunt sorcerer, the man's slight body clad in black robes that were festooned with crimson runes. For someone with such a big reputation, the sallow-faced sorcerer wasn't intimidating at all. It was all Krakus could do not to laugh. He looked at his son. Carvis didn't seem amused. Krakus turned back to Helidin. "You're a brave man to demand an audience with me." Helidin raised an eyebrow. "Where's your entourage?" Helidin shrugged. "Nobody demands anything of Krakus the Kraken." Carvis fumed. Helidin dipped his head. Was the sorcerer being flippant? To the side, Carvis clenched and unclenched the half of his battle axe, shifting his weight from one foot to another. The dogs tugged at their leads. Krakus watched Helidin's fingers, each digit adorned with multiple rings. Some of their inset stones appeared to burn of their own accord. "What is it you want? And be quick about it, I have important matters to attend." Helidin intertwined his fingers at his waist. Krakus tensed. "I want you," Helidin said, his voice deeper than one would expect from an average-sized man. Krakus blinked. "Me?" "Your army, really. What you do with yourself is of no concern to me." Krakus' eyes narrowed. "If you think I'm holding up in this forsaken realm while you're... He searched for a more despicable term but came up short. "Your demons enjoy the southern spoils, you're sadly mistaken." Helidin's stoic face tilted to one side. "I believe you are the one who is mistaken, Emperor." "What?" Krakus spat. "I ought to..." Helidin's calm voice cut in. "Do as you're bidden." Carvis stepped toward the sorcerer, ready to split his head. The dogs, at least half Carvis's size, strained and snapped their yellow teeth, saliva spraying. Krakus swallowed. He knew what he ought to do. Nobody spoke to him like that. If it had been anybody else, they would have already found their head on a pike. But the sorcerer's calm demeanor unsettled him. "Have you not always desired to rule, Zephyr? I have given it to you." Krakus trembled, but not with fear. "Given me what? A pile of rubble?" Helidin raised his thin eyebrows. "It is Zephyr, a mighty kingdom, respected by most, feared by the rest." "Bah! Once mighty. You've seen to that. 'Tis nothing but charred rock and ash now. I may as well go back to Kratic." Helidin nodded his head. "If that is your wish. But your army remains." Carvis took a step toward the sorcerer, bringing him within reach of the insolent man. The pikemen, standing just inside the tent flaps, tensed. The dogs pulled on the stake so hard it began to shimmy free of the earth. Helidin looked Carvis in the eye, his hands slowly untwining. Nothing intimidated Carvis. His arm muscles flexed, ready to swing, but his father's voice stopped him. "Carvis, no!" An uncomfortable silence settled over the tent. Helidin gave the son an empty smile and turned his attention back to the Emperor. "You have until I return to give me your decision." Ignoring Carvis, he walked from the tent. The two pikemen went to block him, but a subtle shake of Krakus' head stopped them. Helidin's black robes fluttered about him as he passed through the flaps and disappeared into the night.